Hello, and welcome to part 2 of our Credit and Debt series by the Economic Empowerment Initiative. Now that we've talked a little bit about credit, we're going to go into what debt is. Debt is the amount of money borrowed and owed by one party to another. Essentially, debt is the opposite of credit. The lender of credit believes that the borrower will keep his promise to pay. So you see, debt and credit are two faces of the same thing, deferred payments. The big difference is that debt is a liability to the man who owes it, but an asset to the creditor. It is important to recognize the tendencies that can lead to debt. Right now, you may not have any debt. However, you may be on the road to obtaining debt. Some of those tendencies include charging more than what you can pay, buying on impulse, using one card to pay another, and paying the minimum payment per month. If you feel as if you tend to do any of these, then you may be on the road to debt. We're going to discuss ways that you can prevent these tendencies from happening and ways that you can recover from debt. Before we go into ways in which you can manage and recover from your debt, it's important to understand how debt and too much of it can negatively affect you. Debt is reflected on your credit report and used to produce a credit score. Lenders then take that credit score and determine whether or not they even want to do business with you. Your credit report also has your personal identification information, your public record information, collection agency account information, and your credit account information. Most negative information stays on your report for 7 years, while bankruptcy can stay on your report for at least 10 years. So what does your credit score mean? Your FICO, Fair Isaac Credit Organization standard credit scores are scores most lenders use to determine your credit risk. The scores range from 350 to 850, where 350 is extremely high risk and 850 is extremely low risk. Your FICO score determines the interest rate you will receive and whether or not you should be extended credit. Your FICO score is vital to your financial health. Your score can affect whether you get credit and what you pay for credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, and other kinds of credit. For most kinds of credit scores, higher scores mean you are more likely to be approved and pay a lower interest rate on new credit. Want to rent an apartment? Without good scores, your apartment application may be turned down by the landlord. Your scores also may determine how big a deposit you will have to pay for telephone, electricity, or natural gas service. Lenders look at your scores all the time. They look at your scores when deciding, for example, whether to change your interest rate or credit limit on a credit card, or whether to send you an offer through the mail. Having good credit scores makes your financial dealings a lot easier and can save you money and lower interest rates. That's why they are a vital part of your financial health. So, how does FICO come up with this widely used score? While the inner workings of the FICO scoring system are a closely guarded secret, the company is open about the general components of the FICO credit score. Using information in a borrower's credit report, FICO breaks that information into categories. Those 5 components then each get different weights. FICO scores give the most attention to how you have paid back lenders in the past and how much you are using of the credit available to you, as shown as your credit report. Those 2 factors contribute roughly 2/3 of a typical person's FICO score. Your payment history is 35% of the total FICO credit score. According to FICO, past long-term behavior is used to forecast future long-term behavior. Your debt amounts account for 30% of your total FICO score and is based on a borrower's total outstanding debt. Revolving lines of credit, which allow a consumer to borrow as much or as little as desired up to a limit, say $20,000, are more heavily weighted. 15% of the total credit score is based on the length of time each account has been opened and the length of time since the account's most recent action. As a result, it's impossible for a person who was new to credit to have a perfect credit score. A longer credit history provides more information and offers a better picture of long-term financial behavior. Therefore, to improve their credit scores, individuals without a credit history should begin using credit, and those with credit should maintain long-standing accounts. Finally, New credit and credit mix or inquiries each comprise 10% of the total credit score. Borrowers, even those new to credit, should avoid opening too many credit lines at the same time, since such behavior could suggest they are in financial trouble and need significant access to lots of credit. FICO suggests that borrowers only take on additional credit when they must have it or when it makes sense financially. Credit mix is somewhat of a vague category, but experts say that repaying a variety in debt indicates that a borrower can handle all sorts of credit. Having bad credit can be costly. If you have bad credit, it will be harder to build wealth. Higher interest rates mean that you must work longer to pay for things. Let's look at a 3-year $10,000 auto loan and a 30-year $200,000 mortgage to illustrate this. For a 3-year $10,000 auto loan, someone with a credit score of 650 may be offered an interest rate of 13.35%, compared to someone with a credit score of 700 who was more likely to be offered a lower interest rate of 7.55%. At these interest rates, the individual with the 650 credit score will have to pay monthly payments of approximately $340, while the individual with the credit score of 700 has monthly payments of approximately $311. Over the life of the loan, the person with the lower credit score will have paid $900 more than the person with the higher credit score. Let's practice this same exercise for a 30-year mortgage. You see that someone with a credit score of 650 is likely to be offered an interest rate of 5.59%, while a person with a score of 700 is likely to be offered an interest rate of 4.77%. Although the difference is only approximately 0.80%, over 30 years this amounts to about a $40,000 difference in total interest paid. Money that could have been saved and used for future purposes such as retirement or your child's education. The Fair Credit Reporting Act requires each of the nationwide consumer reporting companies, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, to provide you with a free copy of your credit report at your request once every 12 months. Only one website is authorized to fill orders for the free annual credit report you are entitled to under law, annualcreditreport.com. Other websites that claim to offer free credit reports, free credit scores, or free credit monitoring are not part of the legally mandated free annual credit report program. In some cases, the free product comes with strings attached. For example, some sites sign you up for a supposedly free service that converts to one you have to pay for after a trial period. If you don't cancel during the trial period, you may be unwittingly agreeing to let the company start charging fees to your credit card. Now that you have a better understanding of how debt works, your credit score, and how it affects you, watch part 3 of this series to learn how to stay out of credit trouble and how to get out of trouble by using the debt snowball method.